For centuries, sailors whispered of the Kraken, an enormous creature rising from the depths, with tentacles capable of pulling ships into the sea. Some claimed it was the size of an island. Others said its eyes were as large as dinner plates, glowing in the darkness of the deep. To many, it was a fable, a nightmare conjured by men who feared the sea. But what if the Kraken was not only a legend? What if it was a giant squid of prehistoric origin, a survivor from an age long before our own? The ocean is Earth's oldest wilderness. Before mammals walked the land, before birds filled the skies, the seas were already home to monsters. In the fossil record, we find ammonite spiral-shelled relatives of squid thriving in vast numbers. We find belemnites, ancient squid-like creatures armed with sharp beaks and ink sacs. Some of these prehistoric cephalopods grew to astonishing sizes, with tentacles stretching longer than a man. If such creatures existed millions of years ago, could their descendants be the source of the Kraken myth? The modern giant squid Arctoothis is proof that nature still hides giants. Rarely seen alive, these elusive creatures can grow to over 40 feet in length. Even larger is the colossal squid of the Antarctic, with hooks on its tentacles and eyes among the largest in the animal kingdom. To a sailor in a fragile wooden ship, a chance encounter with such a beast would be unforgettable. Imagine a storm-tossed vessel, and out of the waves, a mass of writhing tentacles striking the deck. To those who live to tell the tale, it would become the story of the Kraken. But myths describe something even greater, an animal large enough to wrap its arms around a ship and drag it below. Could this detail hold a kernel of truth? In prehistoric creatures like Camaraceras, a giant cephalopod, stretched more than 30 feet long, with a shell like a spear and arms reaching out to snare prey. If such forms once existed, perhaps others even larger swam the seas. And in the vast, dark trenches of the ocean, who can say what still survives? The ocean is the perfect hiding place for legends. We have explored less than 20% of its depths. Whole ecosystems thrive without sunlight, with species that seem alien to us. When fishermen first hauled up giant squid corpses tangled in nets, the scientific world was stunned. For centuries, the Kraken had been dismissed as a fantasy end. Then suddenly, pieces of the myth were lying on the dock, real flesh and bone. But could the Kraken be more than today's squid? Some scientists speculate that cephalopods may have evolved from even more ancient ancestors, lineages stretching back 500 million years. Their intelligence is remarkable. Octopuses solve puzzles, use tools, and even escape aquariums with Houdini-like skills. Imagine a prehistoric squid that combined enormous size with advanced cunning. Such a creature could dominate the seas, an apex predator terrifying enough to be remembered for millennia. The cultural record supports the idea. Norse sagas describe sea monsters that ensnare ships with arms like trees. In Greek mythology, Scylla was a many-headed sea creature preying on sailors. Polynesian legends speak of the Tahitian monster Tamata, a tentacled horror of the waves. Across the globe, oceanfaring cultures spoke of giants. These stories may not be coincidence. They may be fragments of memory, passed from generation to generation, of real encounters with colossal squid-like creatures. Even modern science has not dismissed the possibility of even larger specimens. Reports of squid over 60 feet long continue to surface. Some washed-up remains, though decomposed, hinted creatures beyond our current records. If the Kraken is a prehistoric survivor, it may not appear frequently, but the ocean is vast enough to conceal a secret on that scale. The most haunting part of the legend is the image of a ship dragged beneath the waves, swallowed whole by the sea. While no modern squid could manage such a feat, the power of myth lies in exaggeration born from truth. A massive squid latching onto a small boat during a storm could easily flip it, leaving survivors with a tale of a monster beyond comprehension. Multiply that fear across centuries of sailors, and the Kraken takes on a life of its own. So what if the Kraken was a giant squid of prehistoric origin? Then it stands as proof that myth often grows from reality. It means our oceans may still hold echoes of ancient giants, lurking in the darkness where light cannot reach. And it reminds us that humanity's greatest fears often swim just below the surface, waiting and perhaps still watching us from the depths.